So we talked about volume in a prior video, and we have to find the volume of this. It's called an irregular prism, and it's something that looks a little different than the other prisms. And before we solve this, I'm just going to write our volume formula right in the tippity top, just to remind us, because I know that volume equals length times width times height. I always like to write that just to remind myself. It's helpful for me. So what I'm going to do to solve this is I'm going to break this irregular prism up into two prisms. And I'm going to look at each one separately. So I'm going to label this one right here A and this one right here B. And right now I'm not really going to look at B. I'll look at it later. So I'm just going to cover it up. And I'm going to figure out, all right, what is my length, width, and height of prism A? So I see that my length is 6. So I'm going to write a little L. My width is 5, so I'm going to write a W, and my height is 2, so I'm going to write H. And I'm just going to use that information that I just labeled and fill it in the blanks for the volume formula for just prism A. So my length is 6, I'm going to write 6. My width is 5, and my height is 2. And all I have to do is just multiply those together. So I'm going to start with 5 times 2. That's a little bit easier for me. And that's 10. So now I just have to do 6 times 10. And that's 60 cubic units. So I know the volume of A is 60 cubic units. And now I have to find the volume of prism B. So let's see. I know that my length is 4. So I'm going to write an L. Oh, I don't know what my width is though. I'll come back to that. I don't want to stress over that. I know my height is 6, so I'm going to write H. But what on earth is my width? My width is going to be over here or on this side. So I'm going to have to look at prism A to help me with this. And if I look at A, that width is 5. So if this line right here is 5, this line right here is going to be 5. And this line right here is going to be 5. So this is also going to be 5. That means that my width for B is going to be the same as A. All I have to do now is fill in the blanks right here. So I know that my length for prism B is 4, so I'm going to write 4. My width for prism B is 5. And my height for prism B is 6. Okay, so now all I have to do is multiply. 4 times 5, that's 20. So I have to do 20 times 6. Well, I know that 2 times 6 is a fact that I can quickly do in my head. So that's 12, and I am multiplying by 20, so it's 120 cubic units. So what on earth do I do now? I know the volume of prism A is 60 cubic units. And I know the volume of prism B is 120 cubic units. Now all you have to do is add them together. So I'm going to go and I'm going to line up my place values, and I have to do 120 plus 60. 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 plus 6 is 8. 1 plus 0 is 1. So the volume of this irregular prism is 180 cubic units.